What's up, team? What's up, men? What's up? What's up? All right. Let's jump in. I am an associate member of T3 Trading Group, which is an SEC registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA SIPC. All of my trades are placed through T3 Trading Group. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your own financial condition. Position disclosures are getting light. I decided to close out my TSLA position into the close. A couple days of time correction. It's not as extended as it was when I first put that trade on yesterday. Did get enough fall through today to have it be profitable. But I closed it out. I'll revisit it tomorrow, especially with Netflix and Tesla. I figured let me just close it out. I also closed out that upstart that I traded very heavily throughout the day. Out of Chewy now as well. I'm light. Keep saying I'm like lighter than I've been in a long time, and it's true. I'm even lighter today. All right, let's take a quick look. So first of all, we're just going to do a quick afternoon meeting today because Dan Darrow is going to be doing the conversations with a pro trader at 4:30. That link I just posted in the VTF should work. So we'll just do a quick abbreviated afternoon meeting here for a few minutes, and then we'll shut it down and we can flip over to Dan Darrow. Anyway, right now the SPYs, this is about where we still closed, are up 0.2%. The Qs are trading down a bit, I believe, from where we closed. Yep, they are off Tesla and Netflix earnings. So right now the Qs are down 0.2%. I think they closed kind of flattish on the day. And the IWM is up 0.4%. So further continuation from the Russell. We got earnings reports here. Netflix is out. Take a look at the daily chart real quick. Netflix report looks fine. This is exactly one of those reports that I'm very interested in how it moves, because the Netflix report is fine, right? The revenue's a little bit light, but the number of users exceeded expectations, the EPS exceeded expectations, and the stock is trading down on it, but it's not even to the ADMA on the daily after having a massive day yesterday. So stock closed around 476, it's trading down $11 right now as we're having this conversation. Obviously the conference call hasn't started yet. This is like the exact type of earnings report that I'm really interested in, that I've been talking to you guys about. Maybe like taking an options bet to the short side on just like I think if some of these numbers just come in like okay, like this Netflix report looks okay, then the stocks are going to trade down on it, because look at the move. Look at the move that Netflix has had since the last reported earnings. It was trading at $340 at that time. Now, it hit $480 or so today. It's just a really sick move in a short period of time over the course of one quarter. And if the earnings report's not stellar, then I think that we'll be seeing some of these sell. So for the moment, the Tesla report looks fine, and they're selling it, which is kind of what I would expect. Not a huge downdraft here, but I think it's notable. We want to pay attention to that. Tesla's been a little bit all over the place. I think they closed around 491, so right now it's down small. Initially down ticked pretty hard. It looked like it had just ticked back up to flat. I didn't really look at the Tesla numbers as closely as I looked at those Netflix numbers when they first hit. So let me scroll up here in the VTF, where Pat is good enough to get them in there for us. Tesla beats on Q2 earnings, reports 91 cents versus 83 cents expected. Revenue is exactly in line at 24.9 billion. That all looks good. What am I missing here? Do we have any guidance? Revenue, free cash flow. Free cash flow. We've seen them miss on that free cash flow number on a number of occasions. Now, free cash flow came in at 1.01 billion with estimates of 2.1 billion or 2.18 billion. I don't think that number matters as much for the stock as it used to. Obviously still does. That gross margin number is not fantastic, that miss, 18.2% versus 18.8%. But this report doesn't look terrible to me either. They still see fiscal year production at 1.8 million vehicles with versus estimates of 1.88 million, so that's just shy. Stock's still trading right around where it closed. Hardware profits to be joined by acceleration of AI, software and fleet-based profits, Cybertruck factory tooling on track. Yeah, this is another one here. It looks like kind of like a earnings report. I certainly can't describe it as bad. It's not knocking my socks off either. So just be really curious to see how this trades on, a pretty okay-looking report. We've got IBM out. IBM is up, very small off the report. IBM has not had a big run into the report, though. Not really. So we'll see what happens with that one as well. Yeah, the gross margin number on Tesla is a little light. That's the most concerning thing I see on the report, to be honest. And it's not that bad of a number. But yeah, so decent little day. Let's go back over to the indices. SPYs were able to give, I guess, a little bit of continuation, up about 0.2% on the day. I don't know. We got pretty extended. I would more call this a rest day than anything else. Hopping over the Qs, same deal. I know we're trading down here a little bit after hours. I would call this more of a rest day than anything else also. It allows this ADMA to catch up further. And the IWM is where the strength is. This is a big day 3 here. So, I mean, not a big day 3, but it's certainly a day 3. We're continuing some of this extension for the Russell. So, like I was saying in the morning meeting, I guess like Pat was just saying a little bit into the close of the VTF, we're kind of just still hanging out in this no man's land for the market, and that makes these reports so much more interesting, and I think so much more important. Seeing Netflix continuing to trade down a little bit, and Tesla now looks like it's actually trading up. So we'll see if they offset each other as far as their effect on the index goes. So far, so good. As far as trading today goes, I don't know. I mentioned in the morning meeting that I really didn't have anything that I was excited about today, just kind of with where the market was. There's a few things out there like Snow 190, but I didn't really like it that much. Snow got upgraded. 190 is a really big level. But I felt like we were chasing. It opened up at 192. The ADMA is all the way at 181, 182, something like that. We had called out longs at 176. We had called out longs at 185. I didn't like the idea of really chasing that 192, but it was notable. 190 is a big level, gapping up above it on an upgrade. They failed it. They sold that one all the way down. Cisco, we discussed in the 42 level being important, but that this was a boring stock, so I didn't really do too much with it. Looks like if you looked at the intraday price action, even though it closed well, it was really tricky, breaking that opening low at about 11 o'clock. I didn't trade it, like I said in the morning meeting. It was kind of a notable one with the upgrade and the level there, but not one that I really wanted to go after. AMD was very weak early on. There was kind of nothing to do there despite the inside day. SoFi was okay early on. Some of these growth stocks were decent early in the morning. A lot of them were, actually. And we had discussed that off Carvana. Like, could Carvana, which I also did not trade today, lead to a broader squeeze in growth? And it more or less did. SoFi was able to give some continuation through 10, though weakened out a little bit with the market at a certain point. There's a bunch of others that were running. I know Path was trying to run really early. These silly finance ones, Affirm, Upstart ended up being a real big focus for me. It was very hard. I took some early losses in it. Was down a good chunk of money in it, but I continued to trade it, and then I had some better trades, and at a certain point it was actually my best name on the day. Into this steeper pullback was my best name on the day, and then I was deciding whether or not I wanted to keep some overnight, and then it ripped in this last 5 minutes or so, and I gave back a good bit of the open profit that I still had. I still finished positive in it, and I just decided it was closing too strong. I really wanted this thing to get below 56. If I could have gotten a close at 56 or below, I would have kept it, looking for a move to like 49, 50 bucks, and if I could capture that full move, it'd be a super profitable trade for me. But it just didn't close well enough. And even though it's a day 3, and I really think that some of these growth names are starting to get ahead of themselves. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and find myself in a Carvana with Upstart. It's just not worth it. So close the position out. I can always revisit it tomorrow and take a look at it, unless it just gaps down and I miss out. And if that happens, it just is what it is. I won't be upset with my decision. I traded a lot of it. I made a few bucks. I probably did not make as much as the effort that I put into it, because I traded a boatload of the stock throughout the day. But it just is what it is. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. If we're just doing kind of a shorter afternoon review today, I won't go into too much depth on anything, as we can tune over to Dan and his conversations with a pro trader thing that he's doing with Greta. I'm in Los Angeles next week, but I will be trading from Los Angeles. So that's it. I got a few minutes here if anybody wants to try to sneak a question in, especially if it's a question with a quicker answer. I'm happy to do that. Also taking a look at the YouTube real quick. Not seeing anything on the YouTube. Alright, well, if nobody's got anything, thoughts on IBM short? I didn't really look at the numbers. IBM is kind of a sloppy stock, and I like the new CEO. Let me scroll up here. IBM, they missed on revenue. Second quarter operating EPS beats. Free cash flow misses. In other words, I don't think that matters that much for this name. Software revenue beats. Consulting revenue is kind of in line. It's another like very earnings report. Like there's just not much here to be excited about in either direction. Yeah, I don't know. I think the price action needs to confirm a short, and I don't see that in IBM right now. So I got no real opinion for you on it.
What's up, everybody?
Hi, Josh. Question from Eddie Vick about Goldman report this morning. Profit margin down 58%. So I think that was expected. The CEO, DJ Solomon over there, I think did a pretty good job over the course of the quarter, making sure that everybody was aware that this was not going to be a great earnings report, and it really wasn't. I think of all the big banks, it was the worst earnings report that was reported, but I also think that there was fairly low expectations coming in. The stock traded up on it throughout the day. Excuse me. About 0.8% up is where it closed. But I just think that a lot of that was priced in already, Eddie. So that's what happened. Yeah, the Tesla call, the Netflix call, that'll be important. All right. All right, gang. So let's monitor from Lath. What does an inside day mean? Sure. An inside day is a daily chart candle, so you can get inside days, inside 5 minutes, inside 15s, inside weeks. An inside candle is a candle that's within the range of the previous candle. So if you just look at AMD real quick, because that was the one that had it yesterday, you can see that yesterday's candle is entirely within the range of the previous day's candle. So, and I could get into a lot more depth on this in an afternoon meeting where I have more time to chat with you guys. But basically, we utilize inside bars as execution candles for when we like other things. So, namely, if a stock is trending or is showing signs of momentum, you can utilize the inside bar strategy as an execution strategy to take advantage of trend continuation, of momentum continuation in certain circumstances. So that's the short answer. The long answer, I'd be happy to get into trying to find some specific examples of inside bar continuation trades for you at some point so that you can learn more about it. But it probably would require an afternoon meeting that I need more than just the couple minutes that we have here. No problem. All right, gang. Well, on that note, I'll wrap it up. I already posted the link here to LinkedIn in the VTF for Conversations with a Pro Trader with Mr. Dan Darrow. Have a fantastic night, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow.